Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to, once again, Divide and Conquer, Third Age Total War. It's been a while. I think the last time we played this, we were playing as Gondor, if I recall. Yeah, I think it was Gondor, and then before that, it was Buzer Doom. We're back with the Dwarves again today, though, because we're playing Divide and Conquer Epic Unity Rework today. Version 1.8. They've got a new version of it in the works that's going to come out relatively soon, I think. But I fancy playing a little bit of this anyway. Because it's essentially almost a submod for a submod these days, because it's a submod for Divide and Conquer, which itself was a submod for Third Age Total War, but it's all very confusing. But anyway, seems a little loud, actually. There's a master volume slidery thing. There we go. Right. Copyrighted music for days. Can't figure out how to get rid of it. So probably not going to be making any money off this stream. So today, I'm in the mood for dwarves, and specifically, I want to play as the Dwarves of Ered Luin, slightly overlooked dwarf faction in this game. They're interesting because they have a good and evil path in this. They can go either way if they want to. In the War of the Ring, they have a sort of choice. They are obviously, as dwarves, an infantry-focused faction with no cavalry, but these guys have more of a pikeman and crossbowman focus compared to some of the other dwarf factions that are available, which is quite fun. I think I'll put the campaign difficulty up to... Ooh, let's live a little and put it on very hard, and I'll leave battle on medium. No battle time limit, I'll leave that as it is. Victory condition, I'll pop it on short. My actual victory condition for this campaign, if we end up pursuing it more than one, but beyond more than one stream, is I would like to retake Mount Gundabad. Ancestral origin point for the dwarves. Mount Gundabad's right up there somewhere at the top of the Misty Mountains, and our start position is over here, so really, it's sort of quite surprisingly doable. Obviously, we'll be going with the good path for the Dwarves of Ered Luin if we want to get Gundabad, rather than going the evil path and murdering a bunch of elves in Linden, which, I don't know, it just doesn't appeal as much, to be honest with you. I think in the next version of EUR that's due to come out, they're actually going to add a new faction over here, a sort of hybrid goblin and dwarf faction based off the Dower Hands from Lord of the Rings Online, which I think would be really, really cool, because that was one of my favourite little storylines from Lord of the Rings Online, actually. But for now, I think I'm happy to play with these guys. Rare units, Hammers of Gundabad, which we can recruit if we take Mount Gundabad, yes. Special features, the Dwarven Rings choice, yes. The Servants of Sauron will appear and try to tempt us with some of the dwarvish rings of power. But we shall say no! We shall say no! Rings? We don't need no stinking rings. I've got some beer, as you can see. I haven't finished drinking it yet. Been nursing this pint like crazy this evening. But I've got a bit of beer because it's a dwarf stream, and dwarf streams require some beer, I think, rather than a cup of tea. Tea feels far more elvish. What did the dwarvish rings do anyway? I did all the things the rings of power did, you know. General vague magic-y stuff. Battle for Last Fallen. Ah, yeah, little thing with EUR. Dol Amroth immediately rejoins Gondor and ceases to be a faction in EUR. So you get that little message at the start about Dol Amroth falling and rejoining with Gondor. So here we go. There's the standard Divide and Conquer stuff. Here we go. Dwarves of Ered Luin. Ah, but the lights glisten in the halls of Ered Luin, a reminder to all of the once proud history of our fathers. Alas, our fortunes wane, yet we still harbour the greatest array of dwarven bloodlines, a shrinking yet powerful progeny of the seven fathers. Of the seven, ours were the greatest, and our ancestors fell in battle, their dirges sung and sharpened axes cutting, fearful and savage to our foes of old. And we were resplendent when the Ered Luin was at its height. Beleriand treated us far above equals. Our smiths forged wonders that made the elven weapons seem tarnished, even among those of the brilliant Noldor of Gondolin. Talcar was our greatest smith, and his creations lay so greatly above all forging that elves paid fortunes and gave pails of respect as if it were water to them. He it was who made the greatest treasures of Menegroth. The old kingdoms of these mountains were Grand Belagost and Fel Nogrod, yet it was the Dwarves of Nogrod that were cause for the hatred of the elves, a relationship that was only rekindled at Buzer Doom, a friendship with the kingdom of Eregion. The slaying of Elu Thingol was foolish, but necessary, as he deceived us and awoke the lust we have for the bounty of the rock and stone. We have counted amongst us great lords such as Thorin Oakenshield, and field the best equipped and remorseless armed host west of the revived realm of Buzer Doom. Our decline is reversible, as is the resurrection of the might of Belagost and Nogrod. We believe still an axe and mattock will forge a kingdom to last an age. The fool elves are leaving these shores. This gives us pleasure and minds to exploit that have not housed a dwarf of the Ered Luin within for a great length of time. They called us Norgrim, the stunted, and hunted us like wild animals, yet we forged and delved with adamant will and great precision. For Azargul's triumphant death, the elves still owe a debt we cannot collect, but our weakness is over. We have you, Lord, and once more don the masks of war. Whetstones are being driven. The fires belch flame as if we were already ascendant under you, Lord. Smithies provide a war engine like no other. Nothing can withstand a dwarven foot, and whilst limited by lesser strength in bow and lacking horse, we cut like scythes, and our enemies will fall like grass. They will be in awe of the grim warriors whose spirit is strong, whose arms are great, and numbers will ever grow for a war to make even the eldest look tamed. Master forges, great halls, all repaired to splendor. With our strength we will forge the way, and so on and so forth. My God, they don't go on a bit, do they? To the east lie ancient foes. Khan Doom itself will house many warriors amidst piles of the dead, and like vengeful ghosts we will fall upon the foulness of the misty mountains and build the greatest mines. Yes. Here deep within the misty mountains have been left only a few of us, never to forget but slowly to be forgotten in these grievous ages of our decline. Of our waxing and our furious vengeance much will be told in the days to come. So on and so on and so forth. The Grimborn. Since the awakening of the dwarves in the First Age, two clans have called the Blue Mountains home, the Firebeards and the Broadbeams. For many years, peace, harmony, and prosperity reigned in the mansions of the dwarves, and the Blue Mountains became a bulwark against the growing shadow of Morgoth. Then the fates of the dwarves changed when Feanor and his exiles landed on the western shores of Beleriand. The Noldor favoured crafting, smithing, and good solid rock to shape. They were masons, weaponsmiths, carpenters, and jewelers, and they were taught by Aule himself. Yep. This is a big, long thing talking about the sort of the dwarf sub-faction that are all like, elves, don't like them. It is kind of hinting at the evil path we can take with this faction in the mod, which we won't be taking. So, diplomatic information. Cool. All right, there we go. So we're up here in the Blue Mountains in the northwest of Middle-earth, the northwest of Eriador. Probably my favourite region of Middle-earth, actually, Eriador. Yeah. We're bored of the elves of Linden. They kind of hang out over on the western shores here. I think you can see the Grey Havens down here somewhere. If you, oh yeah, there's the towers. And here's our settlements that we've got. We've got Thorin's Hall. Right here. Clan Lord Gore is our faction leader as this faction. We've got Ered Luin Scouts, Ered Luin Pikemen and Crossbowmen are kind of the deal with this faction. Firebeard Warriors as well, Ered Luin Militia, and we can recruit diplomats and spies. Chief of the Blue Mountains, Ring of the Chief, an ancient heirloom. So he's got a mithril coat, which gives him +5 hit points, among other things, which is nice as well. He's a Broadbeam, this guy. The Broadbeams with the Firebeards awoke in the Blue Mountains and lived there throughout the history of their people. These two houses built the great dwarven cities of Nogrod and Belagost, which feature quite heavily in the Silmarillion, if you ain't never read it. Beleriand used to be out over here, where there's now just ocean. All this, back in my day, all this were fields. Now it's just ocean. And this, well, the Ered Luin was kind of just a big mountain range that ran along the eastern side of Beleriand, and then you had this, the Vale of... No, I'm thinking the Vale of Sirion, but I'm not sure if it actually was here. My Beleriand geography is really rusty. there was a big river that ran down here, and then you had all these little rivers coming out of the Blue Mountains that led into it. And then you had Doriath over somewhere here-ish. Big Sylvan Elf realm, which was the source of the beef between the elves and the dwarves because of some shiz that went down involving the Nauglamir necklace. It's a long story. Doesn't this mod also have a faction for the... Yeah, Bree. So Bree, the sort of city, town, state of Bree itself is a faction in this mod that's playable. And I think Barlium and Butterbur is actually the faction leader for them, which is quite amusing, actually. This is the Epic Unity Rework. Yes, it is. It is indeed. Which means that it takes advantage of the Medieval 2 engine overhaul project, which means I can do things like this. I can middle mouse click and view tactical map anywhere on the battle map, on the campaign map that I want to. I can zoom in and I can see what the battlefield there looks like. So we can actually go on a little tour of Middle-earth if we want to. There we go. Ooh, let me just boot up FreeCam so we can... There we go. There we are. That's what the battlefield looks like just outside of Thorin's Halls. Thorin's Halls themselves... They're around here somewhere. But yeah, pretty much any bit of campaign map you care to have a look at, you can have a look at, which is nice. Return to campaign map. Get a little preview of it, you see. I think there's some other features that I'm not yet familiar with. I know there's a lot more coming in the next version of EUR, like being able to upgrade certain units. Lots of kind of crazy faction choices and things as well. Just the further south the mod goes. Harad, pretty much. Harad and Umbar. Down here is how far south it goes. It doesn't go into crazy bonkers fanfiction territory like that CK3 mod does. So, and I actually like that it doesn't do that, to be honest with you. They get a little bit fanfiction-y with Arad Unaim and Dorwinion, but that's about the limit of it in this. Nosy, thank you very much for 20 months of subbage. Welcome back. You just spent ages looking for Beleriand on the original trilogy maps. Didn't find out until later that it was just... Yes. Yeah, I mean, that when I first got into Tolkien's stuff, The Hobbit, followed by The Lord of the Rings, I was very confused. I was like, where is Beleriand? Later only did I find out that, oh yeah, it was over here and it sunk into the ocean. Because it's very confusing, because you can see the Blue Mountains on some of the maps of Beleriand, and like, well, okay, well, there's the Blue Mountains. I recognize those from the Lord of the Rings map, so where's Beleriand? Yeah. Lieutenant General Store, 97 months of subbage. Welcome back, my dude. Since we're getting close to 100 months, I wanted to thank you for the years of content. You started during the second chapter of Claudius, which feels like a lifetime away. Yep, same here. Can't make it to many streams these days due to life changes, but I try to get the VODs whenever I can. No worries, man. An unnamed one as well. Welcome, brand new Prime sub person. We don't get a lot of brand new subs on the channel these days, to be honest with you, so it's nice to see them every now and again. Is this a little village? It's a little town. What's a dwarf town look like? I am getting old. Lisa as well. Oh, there you go. We got another new sub. Amazing. Thank you very much, Lisa347. Hey, look at this. Cool. It's a little dwarf miner settlement. Minor in the sense that it's small, and minor in the sense that it's a mine. They call it a mine. A mine. This is really neat. Pretty cool. There's the mountains over there. I like it. Oh, the custom battle maps are so much nicer to use, especially the underground ones in this mod, now that I've started using free cam instead of the default camera controls. Isn't this where one of the low-tro dwarf race start? Yeah, if you play as a dwarf in Lord of the Rings Online, you start off in Ered Luin, yes. In Thorin's halls. Thorin's halls over here, and then I'm going to try and remember some of the settlements. You've got Gondamon, which is sort of out here, roughly where that little village markery thing is there. That's where Gondamon is in Lord of the Rings Online. And then you got Sauron, which is down here somewhere. Yeah. Alright, what do we got? Firebeard warriors. One of our generals, Gnar. General of the Blue Mountains. He's got an axe. He's got a dwarven coat of mail. Gives you +2 hit points. Nice helmet. Gives you another +2. And a dwarven shield, which gives you another +2. You get a plus... You get +3 hit points just for being a dwarf as well. Great, isn't it? And then we got Farham Gathol up here, ruled at the moment by Clan Herald Grine. With Dwemer armor from Skyrim, apparently. I'm not sure how I feel about that being used as the icon, but whatever. He's a broad beam. Heir apparent. Well, let's see. Buildings, construction, all that stuff. Stoneworkers' halls. Probably build those first, really, because they reduce the cost of all the subsequent buildings and the building time for them as well, so makes sense to do that as early as possible, really. Goody gumdrops, right, Mr. Diplomat Anar. I'm going to send you to go talk to the elves. That's what you're going to do. Have a little chit chat with the elves. Get me some trade rights and stuff. And for the moment, I think we'll stay put, make some money, and be very boring, generally speaking. Maybe, have I got a spy anywhere to do a bit of scouting with? We could maybe build some watchtowers, I suppose. Where does our land, where our borders sort of go to? Oh, we control all of this, do we? Interesting. Right up to this river here. Right, Gnar. Oh dear, they're not happy there, are they? Now that you've left. That's annoying. The budget's not looking very healthy. Anyway, you're on watchtower building duty for now. And, let's recruit ourselves a spy, shall we? Something you really liked about Archet. Such a nice little town with a great name. That initial, like, whole little quest involving Archet is actually very well put together. I still, like, these days if I were making a new character, I'd probably go with the Swanfleet stuff from Before the Shadow, but the original man/hobbit starting area in Archet is actually very, very well put together from an RPG design standpoint. I always enjoy going back and doing it again. Colin's with us this evening. He's meowing in the background. You may occasionally be able to hear him. He's being a mischievous little goblin. Because he wants to play. But I'm busy streaming. And it's not my fault he decided to sleep all day. Hello, everybody. Meow meow. What's up, buddy? You little funny goblin. Restore Arnor now. So yeah, you can use this to sort of skip the scripting and make Arnor become a thing immediately from the start of the game, rather than letting the Northern Dunedain kind of figure that shit out for themselves. I'm going to choose to not do that. Spy recruited. Very good. Trait increase. Thriss. Inconspicuous. Oh, that's our new spy. Seal of the Blue Mountains. Oh, very nice. Give this to the general you want to be the next heir. Oh, I see. Alright, Nar. Keep marching.
March to glory. Marching now.
Right, and there's me spy. Off to... Ah! We found some elven rebels, really.
I will only address you in
Bandits, and sellswords. It says elven rebels, but they're not elves, are they? They're humans wearing fake ears. Fake pointy ears. Oh yeah, we're elves, yeah, honest. We're totally elves. Now give us your money. Oh yeah, elvish rebels, eh? Elven rebels with warg riders. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. Most amusing. Alright. Let's get some pikemen. What's the difference really between these guys, generally speaking? Firebeard Warrior's a bit better on the attack. They've got armor piercing. Excellent stamina as well. They appeal to me more, I must admit. Ered Luin scouts. Our crossbow boys. I'll pull you guys out of there. Bring you down towards Thorin's halls.
Aye. Forward. Aye, sire. My king.
I'd like now to build a watchtower out here and then come back this way. We can go crush some rebel scum.
I am a king.
Ah!
Aye, sire.
The elves.
Yes, sire.
It's a high elven fort.
What is it you wish to
What up, elves? How do? Would you like some trade rights? Would you like an alliance? Would you like military access as well?
I do not believe I'm
You slimy buggers. Trade rights? There we go, that's fine. Alliance?
Please, this proposal is a
Nah.
another proposition.
If I were to... Could I sell you some map information?
This isn't going to
Never
an
mind.
honor and a pleasure.
Maybe not today. We got the trade rights though. Do some trade with the elves, just like in the olden days.
Aye, Lord. Aye, no.
Alright, not much else to do now. We'll just end turn. Get me guess, music means the stream is not monetizable. Yeah, unfortunately. There's like... I don't know. I don't really know what to do about it, to be honest with you. There isn't a sort of handy-dandy downloadable sort of like copyright-free music mod for this that I can use to, you know, uncopyright it, unfortunately. The alternative is some manual buggering about, a bit like I did with Draco, Insularis Draco. Oh, pardon me, it's the beer. But like I did with Insularis Draco. But as we saw when I did it with Insularis Draco, it kind of messed things up a bit. So I was disinclined to try and do that this time. Okay, stoneworkers' halls are all done. More declared. Goblins of Moria on the Anduin Vale. Right,
My king.
you this way.
Aye, sire. Cannot go there.
Nah. Build me a watchtower worthy of Mordor. No, worthy of the dwarves. Where are the rest of you elves at? Whatever, I'm just going to go back up here and have another chat with you at the fort.
That's not possible, sire. Today's journey is over, sire.
A pub. Alright, what should we build now? We need money. That's the big thing. We need money. A large pig farm. Mines. Mines seems like the obvious choice, doesn't it? A port? Not the worst choice ever, but I think it really ought to be the mines. Cost me nearly all my money to do it, though. But presumably it'll be worth it. We're dwarves. We diggy hole.
That'll do him today, sire.
Doesn't take a genius to figure out that.
Aye, noble sire.
Okay. End turn. Can't you play other music in the background? No, because the interesting thing is every time you hit the end turn button, you get this also copyrighted music. And that is unaffected by the music slider in the game. So I've tried this in the past. Even if I go to the music options, I turn the music slider down to 0 and mute it, you still get bursts of copyrighted music every time I press the end turn button. So you just can't win.
Aye. Aye. Forward.
Right, back this way now.
In your name, sire.
Isengard and Rohan are already at war. Good luck, Rohan. You're going to need it. I could build a pipe hole. I'm good, though, I think, for now.
Aye, my liege. We'll rest here the night, sire.
Rip Rohan. Yeah, I actually thought about playing as Rohan. I really did. There were 3 factions I kind of felt like playing. One of them was obviously Ered Luin. Another one was Rohan. Another one was the Woodland Realm. Up here. But I decided to go with Ered Luin because everyone loves dwarves, right? Alright, not much for us to do at the moment, except for... Oh, right. Hello again. You guys want to buy my map information? No, not a regular tribute. Don't be silly. Single payment.
No, we will not agree to anything like this.
Never mind. We'll try next turn. Madmen on. Thank you very much for 19 months of subage. Welcome back. Start banging some pots together every time you hit the end turn. But I'll just pick up Colin and let him meow loudly into the microphone every time I hit end turn. He's still going over there. Just give up, dude. I don't know what your game plan here is. I could get up and open the door for you, and then you'd just be outside in the hallway meowing. At least in here, you've got me to amuse you. I wanted to talk to Bree for 750 gold. Whoopsie daisy. Accidentally clicked out of the window. Apologies. Alright. We'll make one more attempt. Map info for, I don't know, like 300? Oh yes! There we go. A little bit of extra pocket change for us. And now we're off to see the Breelanders. Where's Bree? Bree's all the way down here, isn't it? How's my husband? That's Lake Evendim over there, so that would put Bree down this way somewhere. Where are they? Where are the Barrow Downs? Yeah, there they are. There's the Barrow Downs. So Bree's over here. There's Fornost.
Of course, sir.
So that's going to be a bit of a trip. But best get started.
My king.
No, you can chill on that bridge. I'm going to send the others to join you.
My liege.
Now, how much do you contribute to Thorin's Hall's income right now, Clan Lord Gore? You contribute a surprising amount, but I'm going to take you anyway.
My king. Aye. Aye, sire. Move out. Combining, we march to glory.
It's going to be a slow old march, isn't it? Can I boost the tax rate a bit? Yeah, I think we probably should. Oh, it's a fortress. I can't boost it there. And this place will riot if I lower it, so... Lots of unrest for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Would a smoking house help? Not really. Pig farm will get us a bit more money. Bit more money. Smoking house. Barracks. Pipe hole. Ooh. Well, there we go. Oh, bit of Lord of the Rings Online music playing right now. There's definitely a lot of Lord of the Rings Online music in this mod. It comes up every now and again, and I recognize it. I wish there was some way to get a version of the Divide and Conquer soundtrack that just removes the actual movie soundtrack and leaves the rest in. That would be ideal. Well, there's that wonderful Lord of the Rings mod for Mount and Blade Warband, which has a completely custom soundtrack, I think, inspired by the movies, but it's not the actual movie soundtrack, so it's copyright free. It's just, God, it annoys me when mod... I mean, I get why they did it, for the vibes, but it does annoy me sometimes when mod makers use copyrighted music, because it just makes my life extremely difficult and annoying. So...
At your service.
So what we got? A bunch of bandits and some sellswords. The sellswords are decent. The bandits not so much. The sellswords have armor piercing. No, they don't.
Aye, noble sire.
Last days of the third era. It's very, very good. I have played it a little bit. I made a ranger character and immediately went off to explore the mines of Moria. It was good. It was a good time. It's one of the two warband mods I'd quite like to cover on the channel. One of the three, actually. I'd like to cover on the channel at some point. One is Prophecy of Pendor. One is Last Days of the Third Age, and the other one is Out Caesar, Out Nihil. The Roman mod that takes place during the reign of Emperor Nero, which is really, really, really good.
Honor, my lord. Bring your
Alright,
men together.
let's crush some elves.
Aye, my
Some
liege.
elven rebels.
We march to battle. Attack.
You enjoyed what you played of Pendor, but it kicked your absolute ass. Yeah, Pendor's hard. Pendor's tough. But it's fun. Alright. Let's get the boys set up. Pikes. Scouts out front with your crossbows. King on the left, Nar on the right. Nar, you can have the Firebeard warriors with you as well, actually, because there's not quite so many of you. Alright, let's have a look at them as well while we're at it. So we got our Ered Luin scouts. Pretty standard looking dwarves with crossbows. Very nice. We've got our Ered Luin pikemen. Pretty standard looking dwarves, this time with pikes. Although I like that the pikes are sort of proportional to the dwarves and therefore are not as long as like regular human pikes, which amuses me. And then we've got the king, Gore, up here. With his Gabble Gaffle guard. Which look pretty cool, must admit. Where is the man himself? There he is. Nice shield. Ooh, a little flag as well, little banner. There's the Firebeard warriors. Taking more than a little bit of inspiration from Slayers in Warhammer Fantasy, I'm noticing, but hey. And then here's Tumunzahar nobles. Gabble Gaffle and Tumunzahar, by the way, are the dwarvish Kuzdal names for Nogrod and Belagost, in case you were wondering. These guys also look pretty darn cool. Let's make these bandits wish they had never bandited. If we can just get you guys to advance in a straight line, that would help. There we go. That's more or less good. Hello, kitten. What are you doing? What are you doing? Meow. Meow. You're pissed off, aren't you? You're a bored kitty cat. You know what? I think we'll just stop right there. That's good. There's the bandits. We're about to get crossbowed in the face. Oh, yes. There's the soul swords at the back, who I'm arguably much more worried about. Can you guys focus fire on them? That would be good. Does my king have any kind of special ability? He does. Stubbornness of the dwarves, 1 use, 60 seconds duration, plus 250 own army fatigue permanent, minus 750 own army fatigue temporary, locks own army morale impetuous, rallies own routing troops. Not the best ability in this game, but hey. Alright, back you get. Back you get. You guys actually in pike formation? You are, aren't you? Run, 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 run. Stop getting chopped up by bandits. I'm going to have the Firebeard warriors charge into them. Let's get a little bit of flanking on the go. Pikemen, of course, in Medieval 2, you must remember, are kind of broken and OP because of the way their animations work. So their stats on paper often don't look very impressive, but you have to take into account the weird bonus they have due to the way the animations work, which is why they're absolutely slaughtering these bandits at the moment. We'll have a bit of flanking maneuvering going on here, but it hardly seems needed, honestly.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy. We're here, laddie.
We have a bit of a rout going on. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to catch these guys. Damnable men with their long legs. So nobody to chase down at routing enemies with, unfortunately, as this faction. Best we can do is shoot them as they flee with our crossbows. You guys didn't really need any help, did you? You're shooting the soul swords at the back. Very nice.
general lies dead.
Lovely.
We have sent the cart to hell.
What are the sellswords up to? Are they running away or what? I don't know.
Grab your weapons. We're ready here. Stand strong, my bearded friends.
Stand strong, my bearded friends. Don't mind me clipping through the ground occasionally. The downside of free cam is it has no collision physics. It's a downside and an upside, because sometimes it can be an upside when you're playing on some of the maps in this mod. Especially the underground ones. Involving caves and dwarf fortresses and whatnot. Do you have any friends who are not bearded, Dwarf Lord? He might have a few elf friends, you never know. Maybe some hobbits.
After them, cut the cowards down.
We'll try and kill as many as we can as they flee, but it'll be tricky.
Battle at last.
Archers, like good archers, are generally very, very, very powerful in this mod. It has that in common with some of the later Total War games. Ranged units are king. Yeah, I think we're good. 73 soldiers lost. Casualties healed, 16 for the Ered Luin scouts. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I didn't pull them back in time. Lost a surprisingly large number of Firebeard warriors. But they inflicted an absolute buttload of casualties, so... There is at least one elf with a beard in Lord of the Rings, anyway. You have that image. I'd love to get some prints of, was it Ralph Naismith? Is that the guy I was thinking of? Was it Bob Naismith? Somebody Naismith. He did a lot of really, really, really wonderful, really wonderful Lord of the Rings illustrations. Particularly, I have a copy of the Silmarillion, which is like fully illustrated by him, and it's just so good. Such a pretty book. An elf with a beard. What new devil is this? Yeah, when elves get old enough in Tolkien's world, they do grow beards. Círdan has a beard. Círdan, he's Lord of the elves who hang out down here in the Grey Havens. He doesn't. I don't think he never shows up in the movies, but he has a few scenes in the books. Is it Ted Naismith? I was almost right. Enemy camp sacked. Bit of extra dosh. Oh, close but no cigar. The next turn we take that, apparently.
They shall not see me, sire. On my way.
Right, mines will be done in 2 turns. So far, so good. Oh, my diplomat's on the way. He's moving. Is he in Rings of Power? Oh, is he in Season 2? I haven't watched Season 2 of Rings of Power yet, so if Círdan gets a cameo in Rings of Power, that'd be pretty sick. And the Gossip is a fine name for a diplomat. Yes. I also vaguely considered playing as Dale today, actually, as well, in addition to the other factions. I might still do a Dale campaign off screen, actually. I've never really done a campaign in the northeast of Middle-earth in this mod before, so I'm thinking of making a Dale Lands character in Lord of the Rings Online as well. I think I mentioned in the pre-stream bit today when we were talking about it. I'm thinking of making a new human character on Lotro. I'm thinking of making him a Dale character. Pipe hall's done. That's not bad. Does that mean I can lower the taxes? I mean, raise the taxes, rather. Back up to normal again. Hey! I can. Fantastic. Right. Right, we have a settlement to take, which includes some warg riders. I'm not sure what the other stuff is. Wait, this place has wall? No, it doesn't. I was going to say. Captain Freya. Orcs! Warg riders. I'll have to try and tempt them onto our pikes. No, it's not northeast, but yes, Dorwinian are a quality faction in this mod. Yeah, Dorwinian are very good. I haven't. They're a bit far east for me though. Like I don't feel like like you say, they're not really northeast, are they? They're east, Dorwinian. They're out there duking it out with Rune. Yeah, elven rebels. I mean, it is an elvish settlement, clearly. But yeah, they're not elves. Bunch of orcs in really, really dodgy elf costumes. Right. Let's get everybody over here, and then maybe we'll split up once the battle starts and we'll see how things are going. Ew, ew, ew. I don't know if you can hear him in the background, folks. Apologies if you can hear the constant meowing. But Colin is being a noisy boy this evening because he's bored and he wants to play. May have a brief intermission in a bit where I let him out. Few guys here. Ooh. There we go. You guys in range from here? No, you're not elfish archers, I suppose. But your range is still pretty darn good. There we go. They're in range now. Open fire. Oh boy, they're not wasting any time, are they? I think we're doing a little bit of a pike and shot thing here, where I walk you guys right up there, in amongst the archers. Because they're being quite aggressive, aren't they? They're not staying in the town. Although I'm not really sure what their game plan is right now. Your aim could use some work, lads, but you're doing all right.
We're here, laddie. Charge! Keep those spears ready. Engage them.
Are they withdrawing? It's difficult to say, isn't it? I think we're drawing them back in.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain
There we go.
true and steadfast,
Time to make some warg kebabs. Hello. Hello, goblin. Yep, still getting some good hits. Very nice. What's this over here? Some orcs. Yeah, it doesn't seem very smart. I mean, welcome to Medieval 2 Total War. The game is certainly showing its age. Ooh, some very good shots. Wow.
Keep those spears ready. Keep those spears ready.
You guys can stop now. I don't want any friendly fire to happen. Well, having said that, though,
Victory will be ours.
maybe think about shooting them. You show those orcs who's boss. Get in there, boys. Take that town square. Keeping an eye on you, Warg Riders. Oh, they're on the move. Get you guys into this dip here. Maybe we'll be a bit less likely to get hit by our own crossbow bolts. Oh, you caught them. Well done. What's better than a dwarf? A dwarf with a pike. Right, you guys ready to get stuck in here? Take the town centre. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't really mind the AI being dumb, because it feels like it doesn't break your immersion too much when the orcs are really dumb. You know, like at the end of the day, like, oh, the orcs are behaving really stupidly. Oh no. But it's more noticeable when you play as the bad guys. Nice.
Guard them well. So we can watch us defeat
And then you
the
watch
rest.
like the good guys start to do really stupid shit, and it's a bit like, It's a bit like why if you ever play Napoleon Total War, I recommend never playing as anyone except Napoleon, because if you end up fighting Napoleon in Napoleon Total War, his AI is really terrible. And it kind of shatters your immersion. I'll send you around here, actually. Bring up the pikes. Hello, kitten. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do I need to put you in air jail? Oh, Kitty's in air jail. Oh, now he's annoyed. Arr, arr. He's gonna try and bite me. You mean Napoleon charging your entire army alone isn't accurate? turns out, no. Oi! That wasn't an invitation for you to start chowing down on my hand. On the end of his career, Napoleon was martially mostly charging head-on. Yeah, but with his like 10 bodyguard cavalry and nothing else, straight into a bunch of grape shot cannons and sharpened stakes. Nah, not so much. Because that's what happened when I last played Napoleon Total War. I played as the British, because of course. And I had a very successful campaign up the peninsula of Spain. Got into southern France itself. And finally, I confronted the beast, Napoleon. And yeah, that's pretty much exactly what he did in the battle I had with him. He alone, by himself, ahead of the rest of his army, charged his bodyguard unit straight at some cannons which had sharpened stakes in front of them. And yeah. And that's the point at which I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pretend that Napoleon was killed in this battle, and that's the end of the campaign. Because I can't deal with this. My immersion is actually shattered.
Men have taken control of the city.
Warg noises. Wargs sounding like my belly
Lost control of the city.
whenever I had too much fried food. It's much better to play Napoleon Total War as Napoleon, basically, is what I'm saying. And likewise, it's better to play Divide and Conquer as the good guys rather than the bad guys. Because if you play as the good guys, the orcs are dumb as a, bag of potatoes, but there are loads of them, and that's part of where the challenge comes from.
This is a clear victory.
You can play as the bad guys every once in a while for a bit of comedy, but like playing as the Moria goblins, for example, can be quite funny, but it's not so great for the immersion. 37 men lost. That's not as bad as I thought it might be, actually. Again, mostly Firebeard warriors. You still play Pharaoh every now and again. Pharaoh's good shit. Honestly, like, Pharaoh is a good Total War game. Especially since the Dynasties update. Pharaoh's good. Hello, Munchkin. What are you doing now? Clambering around the room on all the furniture.
Glory and honor.
You're so spoiled, aren't you? See, if you were an indoor cat, this would be your entire existence, Colin. Just this. Hanging around in a room, going insane out of boredom. But for one evening, I get you to remain indoors. This is what happens. Vandalism. General goblin behavior. Right, we'll just occupy the settlement. Lower the taxes. Build a pipe hall? Pipe hall. Alright, we've expanded a little bit. Into, what is this called? Western Numeriador.
Yes, King. They shall not see me, sire.
And the Grey Havens, this is elf territory down here, so we're probably going to be going further east. Again, my plan really for this campaign is actually to go east, across the top of here, across Forakel, to the Misty Mountains, to the very top of the Misty Mountains. Just south of Forodwaith. Forodwaith, rather. I need to get my pronunciations right again, don't Because my long-term goal in this campaign, depending on how far we get with it, is going to be to take Mount Gundabad, which is, if memory serves, around here somewhere. Yeah, I wish to retake Gundabad from the orcs, which will involve a long march east. Linden, land of song, the wide land in the northwest of one of my favourite features of this is the little atlas entries for the different regions around the map. Subdivided into 2 areas, Forlinden and Harlinden. The Great Gulf of Luin separates the 2 subdivisions and houses at its conflux with the Luin River, the famous city of Mithlond, the Grey Havens. Prior to the fall of Beleriand, the western part of Linden was known as Osiriand, land of 7 rivers. Yeah, those are those rivers I mentioned earlier over here. That ran all the way down here. In fact, is this some of them right here? Possibly. Yeah. And the name Linden as a name was rarely used. Linden as a royal realm called the Kingdom of Linden was founded at the start of the Second Age by Gil-galad, the last High King of the Noldor in exile. His people were those elves fleeing the destruction of Beleriand. The Kingdom of Linden has endured since that time through many wars and much strife, but now dwindles as the elves use Mithlond as the departure point for all of Middle-earth. Yep. Gil-galad was a bit of a Chad, as elves go. Ered Luin. The Blue Mountains, also known as the Ered Linden, is the mountain range at the far west of Eriador. The mountains were ruined during the War of Wrath, and in the central end of the range, the sea broke through. Most of the dwarves migrated east to Khazad Dûm, however some remained to rebuild. Over time, however, the dwarves seem to have largely moved to the southern chain. In the Third Age, the Blue Mountains apparently saw the return of many of the Firebeards and Broadbeams due to the isolation/stagnation of Khazad Dûm. It also became the new home for many of Durin's folk, who were exiled from their halls in Erebor by the Smaug the Dragon. A lot of that underground thing, realms being sacked by dragons, happens a lot in the Lord of the Rings. Happened to the elves too. If you're not really up on your Lord of the Rings lore, you may be shocked and surprised to learn that in Beleriand, the elves had an underground kingdom called Nargothrond. Basically because it was Galadriel's brother. What was his name? God damn it, I don't remember now off the top of my head. It's been a long time since I read the Silmarillion. I'm massively abbreviating and summing up a lot of very well-written lore here, but Galadriel's brother, whose name escapes me at this present moment, basically took one look at the dwarves and was like, "That is sick, bro! I want the same!" And he went off to make himself an underground kingdom in Beleriand called Nargothrond, which unfortunately got sacked by a dragon. Bit of foreshadowing of what would happen to the dwarves later on, really. Finrod, that was it. Yeah, Finrod Felagund. Yeah, Finrod was awesome. Finrod was a cool dude, and unfortunately he was moided by Sauron. You wouldn't think dragons would consider underground to be their natural habitat, given they have wings. It wasn't really so much about the fact that it was underground, it was more about the fact that it was full of elves and also treasure. He's stood on top of the armchair in the corner at eye level with me at the moment, just standing there looking very noble and meowing at me. What are you doing, you little gremlin? Alright, we're going to have a little brief intermission here, and I'm going to let him out so he doesn't keep driving me completely insane. I was hoping he would have settled down and gone to sleep by now, but apparently not. So, one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. Oop, forgot the camera. There we go. I'm back. Just in time for the awesome music. Do 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 do. Quality bit of dwarf themed music. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, something Nargothrond. Features in the Song of Durin, actually, in the Fellowship of the Ring, when Gimli sings it as they're going through the Mines of Moria. Nargothrond gets name-dropped. As does Gondolin. Anyway, I wish you could have heard just now the way, like, I got up to open the door for him and he was meowing, and like it was hilarious how like the tone of his meowing changed as soon as he realized he was about to get what he wanted. He went from going meow to meh meh meh. It was like little thank you meows. Meow meow. Alright, I don't think there's much else for us to do, is there? Other than smack the end turn button. Norrodwyth? Are you thinking of Forodwyth, Raven? You are one letter off. Forodwyth is up very northern end of the map. Forodwyth is up at the northern end of the map. Enedwyth is down in sort of like the south of Eriador. Cats can perfectly understand English. They certainly learn a few phrases, don't they? Colin understands no, for one thing. He understands no. He gets really pissed off if you give him a no when he's meowing at you for something he wants. He also understands din-dins. Do you want some food? And are you hungry? And he kind of understands the words, do you want to play, as well. And do you want to go out? He understands that as well. We've reached the Grey Havens, yes. The mines are finished! Look at that lovely income. Right, I feel like you're going the wrong way. It's harder to locate Bree. Is that the old forest there? Yes, it is, because there's the Barrow Downs. Right, you need to be over here, Sonny Jim. The Shire reached. Reached the Shire, a peaceful part of Eriador which is almost exclusively inhabited by hobbits and largely removed from the goings-on in the rest of Middle-earth. Oh, hello. Remnants of Arthedain.
Get me, you coward.
Oh, you're my spy. Ah, Christ, I thought you were my diplomat. You. Yeah, you're actually going the way you should be.
Yes, my king.
Right, well, the mines are done. Large pig farm, mayhaps? A mining network, we could save up for that. It's probably the smartest thing to do, isn't it? Please tell me Tom Bombadil's a character in this mod. Not to my knowledge. Your dog starts whining if you say goodbye to someone on Discord or phone call. Because it usually means you're getting up to stretch and maybe go to the bathroom and get a drink. Colin has a similar thing when the doorbell goes off. He gets all perturbed and annoyed and makes a sort of noise because he's used to at this point the doorbell going off and him being like asleep on my lap and me having to get up and answer the door and therefore ruin his nap. So he has this instinctive grumpy reaction to the doorbell now every time it goes off, which is quite honestly quite funny.
I'll continue tomorrow, sire.
Yeah, our army's looking a little bit depleted, but still not too bad. I think we can forge ahead with them as soon as I figure out what direction we want to forge ahead in.
Stopping here, sire.
Yes. I know one of the big changes in the upcoming 2.0 version of EUR is that they're essentially going to implement the later Total War style of replenishing units, so you don't have to send them back to retrain them. They will naturally replenish over the course of the subsequent turns, like they do in the later Total Wars. Through the magic of the engine overhaul project. Which allows modders to finally overcome Medieval 2's hard-coded limits in some ways. Yeah, let's continue saving up for the mines, I think. Yeah, he's still a thing, actually, in that. I have some models still for the Lord of the Rings. The Middle-earth strategy battle game, as it's called nowadays. But yeah, the old Lord of the Rings, Games Workshop published Lord of the Rings tabletop war game, does feature Tom Bombadil as and Goldberry as well, actually. Hello, what's going on? And yeah, he basically does no damage to anyone, but he's unkillable. He wins every single combat, but he does no damage. The Great Vaults of Beleriand. Deep beneath the mountains of the southern Ered Luin, the dwarves of the First Age built a monolithic labyrinth of vaults and chambers to store all the treasures of Nogrod and Belagost. Hordes of weapons and armor of the First Age. Hordes should be spelled H-O-A-R-D-S, but never mind. Along with treasures and jewels of uncountable wealth were stored in this labyrinth. Over time, the mountains themselves protested such a deep delving, and they rumbled and shook, claiming a vault each time they did. One by one, the vaults were lost to the dwarves, and with their numbers dwindling, they couldn't restore access to the lost caverns. Finally, at the end of the Second Age, when the world was changed and Numenor sunk beneath the sea, a great cataclysmic tremor shook the very foundations of the earth, and the remaining vaults were sealed off from the dwarves forever. We are not those who came before us, however. We are strong and proud. The skills of our ancient ancestors still run through our blood. Now is the time for the Dwarves of Ered Luin to reclaim what was lost and open the great vaults once again. Not all of our kin lament the loss of the vaults of Beleriand, however. One family, the Deer Wards, being the descendants of the last keymaster of the vaults, warn of a great secret that is known only to them. They whisper that the vaults hold more than treasure and weapons, and should the vaults be disturbed, it will bring about the ruin of the firebeds and broadbeams, a ruin born of shadow and flame. I wonder what that could be. Probably nothing. Probably just silly superstition. So is it telling me that the game wants me to come and take this? That wasn't quite what I had in mind, but alright. Sounds like some fun could be had. Fun in the Dwarf Fortress sense, in capital letters. So maybe I should send you down this way, Mr. Spy. Might want to try and get some military access from the old elves. Or from Bree, actually. What's up, Bree?
What is it you wish to discuss? You hold us at ransom. Another proposition?
Want some map info in exchange for monies? Ooh, they went for it. Nice.
And you know this. We pray your next proposal is more reasonable than the last. This meeting was disappointing. Goodbye.
They're a bit shirty, aren't they? Alf. Right, Alf. This is the Shire, isn't it?
My lord?
Right, I feel like we should have gotten a... completed a quest there? I thought we had a quest to talk to Breela. Never mind. You can keep going this way. Mickle Delving. Oh yeah, we're definitely in the Shire now. Paladin Took himself.
Aye, sir. Be of service?
At your service.
How much money we got now? Can we afford the mines yet? Not quite. One more turn. Oh yeah, the Third Age, the weird Lord of the Rings JRPG, yeah, where the final boss fight is literally against Sauron on top of his tower. Yeah, that game's weird. Good old a friend of the channel, Pete Smells, loves that game and has streamed it before. It's incredibly daft, but it's actually quite a good game, actually. As JRPGs go, it's a decent one. Oh, there we go. A little gift from the council. That's nice. To fund our new mining efforts. Boosh. 8 turns. It'll be worth it, though.
Yes, my king. Moving quietly.
Lots of elf watchtowers. This is what we're after, though, eh? This place here.
Let's see me, sire.
Buzer Doom. Which watchtowers are a thing in later Total Wars? You don't really need it in later Total Wars, though, do you? Because you get full line of sight over provinces you control. Oops, he didn't move very far, did he? He's tarrying a little in the Shire, getting high on pipeweed right now. Send emissary to the Northern Dunedain. I believe that can be done. Einedwythe and Isengard are at war with each other, and they're at war with the Dunlendings as well. That's probably good news.
Your Honor. Awaiting your command.
Right, if we head up towards Lake Evendom,
Aye, sir.
around here somewhere there's probably a Northern Dunedain settlement. This is Northern Dunedain territory. The Rangers do control this. I'll follow this road here. Lake Evendom is another of my favourite Lord of the Rings Online locations, actually, as well. The ruins around it are really fun to explore. You know, I haven't watched, speaking of JRPGs and Tolkien, I haven't watched that War of the Rohirrim anime yet. I probably should. I've heard it's decent. Not you know, like not earth-shatteringly amazing, but like it's apparently decent. It's not bad. Like the place filled with glaciers. No, not Fornos. Forakel is what you're thinking of. Up here, northernmost bit here, with where you have all the glaciers, and then there's those sort of human tribesmen who live up there as well, and I think they have mammoths and stuff in the Lord of the Rings Online, don't they? Forakel. Yeah, that's up there. It's been a while since I've been to Forakel in Lord of the Rings Online. I've never actually done any proper questing there. I went there once in-game for a role-playing event. Fornost is over here. The ruined capital of Arnor. At least that's Dead Man's Die. I think Fornost is around there somewhere. That might not actually be Fornost, but I think it is. Fornost is definitely out here to the east of Evendim, though. Apparently the new Witcher anime is pretty bad, though. That disappoints me immensely, because I know it had Doug Cockle doing the voice acting for Geralt. And I saw like a really, when when you're on Netflix and you're browsing through stuff and it plays you a brief clip of the thing that you're currently got selected. And I did see the little clip of it when I had it selected, and it looked pretty cool. I recognized Doug Cockle's voice immediately, and I was like, oh, awesome. They got, the proper Geralt doing the Geralt voice. I was like, oh, I should watch this at some point. But if it sucks, I'm deeply disappointed to hear that. We could do some roads, couldn't we? Good dwarvish roads. Yeah, some mates of mine have been banging on about Reacher. I've never watched it, but they love it. It's one of those shows that seems to be very popular with dads. All of my friends who are dads really love their Reacher. It's a dad show, that's for sure. Audiobook Geralt with the slight lisp. Oh yes, Northern Geralt with the slight lisp. Northern Geralt, who sounds like this. Yeah, no, you know what? Like initially that was very weird and difficult to get used to, but I did eventually get used to it, and I grew quite fond of it. Audiobook Geralt is quality.
Yes.
There's Buzer Doom. It's got a lot of goblins. Orc fellas. I suppose fellas as in they fell things, but like it just like orc fellers. Just some fellers. Just some old orc fellers. You right there, fella? Look at this orc fella. Alright, well, we'll have to go take Buzer Doom, won't we, clearly?
On my way.
Question is, are we going to go through
Tomorrow, sire.
Elvish territory, or are we going to do the unthinkable as dwarves and get on a boat? Maybe we can hire a mercenary cog and sail around. Nah, that's probably stupid. We should probably walk. We might need a few more troops, though. We need money. Mines! Oh, more mines. There we go. I didn't realize Faham Gathol had the option for mines. More mines! Oh. Guhuzanur has an option for mines as well. Marvelous. Next turn then. The sea is the domain of the pointy ears. Ah, we found them. The Northern Dunedain. Marvellous. Top of the list. Next turn, talk to them. Hanging out at Numinous. Which seems to have a unique strat map model, which is actually quite nice to see. Yeah, look at that. Does have a unique model. Calamere. What up, dude? Dunedain bodyguards. Good unit.
Tired of ordering your own. Awaiting your command.
You have
How do, chaps? Want a bit of trade?
It's good to see. Very well.
Want some map info?
Suggest.
For a bit of dosh? Oh, I think they're gonna go for it. Hey, nice.
And you know.
Nice!
Well, that seemed fruitful.
Mission success. I'm curious, actually. I want to see what does a Numinous look like on the battle map. I'm assuming I've got the right square selected here. I might not, actually. Isn't Calamere from Lotro as well? You know, he might be, actually. No, I didn't select the right square, did I? Can we see the lake from here, at least? We can, yeah. Seriously, even dim, if you're playing Lotro, quality zone to explore and quest in. Really, I highly recommend it. It even has a dungeon you can do that's not bad. It's another nice bit of artwork, isn't it? That dungeon was a pain. Took you a week to find a group to run it with. Yeah, finding a group to run some of those early dungeons is rough in Lord of the Rings Online. To be honest with you, if you want to play Lord of the Rings Online, don't do it for things like dungeons and raids and endgame content, generally speaking. It's not a good idea. If you want to play Lotro, do it for the exploration, the solo questing, or the roleplay. That's where the game really shines. Play at home building as well is quite fun. I think we got it this time. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that quest. Yeah, I remember trying to solo that particular dungeon in a foolish moment, and decided, yep, that's not happening. Well, look at this. This is pretty sick. Yeah, so they have got a unique battle map model for a Numinous as well. Oh, I love it. Oh, very, very good. I really should do a Northern Dunedain campaign one of these days. It's one of those factions I've kind of been saving for a proper like narrative let's play on the channel, over on the YouTube side of things. Because the Northern Dunedain is such a wonderful faction to play as in this mod, because not only can you use them to start off, you basically start off essentially as a bunch of like, you know, ranger hobos squatting in ruins like this. But you can go on to reform the Kingdom of Arnor, and beyond that, you can go on to reform the reunited Kingdom of Gondor and Arnor with Aragorn as king. And that essentially means you get to control Arnor and Gondor on the strat map and kick the absolute living shit out of Sauron and all of the bad guys. It's a fantastic campaign if you want to go from absolute zero to absolute hero. But yeah, it's a quality little battle map, isn't it? This is very, very good. Oh, what's this over here? More little ruiny bits. Like a little dock and... Oh, yeah, look, some sunken ruins. Marvellous. Right, back to the campaign map. Yeah, someone has actually done an unofficial port of the 4th Age Total War to the Rome Remastered, but it's still a very big work in progress, sadly. They haven't managed to port across a lot of the sounds and music, for example, which is why I've not covered it yet on the channel. I'd like that port needs a little bit more time in the oven. But once it's in a good state, I can't wait to cover it, because 4th Age Total War is one of the greatest Total War mods of all time, in my humble opinion.
Aye, sire. I must stop here, sire.
So, 5 more turns for the mining network. Let's build more mines over here. And more mines. We're just mining our asses off right now, aren't we? Like champs. I don't suppose we can build mines here. No, not yet. If ever. Things we can build, though. Right. Our spy. Let's bring him back up this way. For now.
Sire, no further this day.
And I'm going to look at a bit of some militia and some pikemen as well. I think it's Clamavi de Profundis, yeah. It's a bit of a slow start, this campaign, isn't it? I must admit. But it's nice to be able to break up the campaign map with occasional little bits of tourism, using the engine overhaul feature there to preview the battle maps. We should have a little look at Mickle Delving, actually, see if it's all hobbity. Caer Andros is under attack. Ah. Yeah, it usually would be by this time in the campaign. Interesting times. For many years now, the threat of the Grimborn has been non-existent. We know of their past, we know of their harboured anger, but chiefly we know that they are little more than a small group of old men who while away their hours, drinking and reminiscing. Seems the Grimborn have their own hero, Grinfairn. Grinfairn has gathered more support for his cause in the last few years than any Grimborn leader has done in the past 1,000. He speaks of a better life for the Dwarves of the Blue Mountains. His speeches do not speak of hatred, anger, or war, but rather of peace, prosperity, and glory. Many rally to his banner, and he has found himself at the head of a tidal wave of wanted change. Yes. They hail him as Kazin Reborn. To hear that name spoken in these halls again is an ill omen. Kazin was the mightiest leader of the Grimborn. It was he who announced the 8th clan after the sacking of Menegroth. In fairness, clever, my lord. He doesn't speak of all-out war, but he subtly blames our troubles on the elves and their decision to stay in Middle-earth. Yes. Bad news bears.
Aye. Onward. We've marched our limit.
Not so quite so action-packed as our journey to Buzer Doom, that's fine. Yeah, it'll be a slow burn, this campaign. It'll take a little while to get going, but we have a pretty badass goal of retaking Gundabad. Not to mention some interesting shenanigans, story shenanigans that might be going on down here. I'm going to try and get my ass down there as soon as possible, honestly. We're going to bring these guys down here, and then I think I might take my chances with what we've got here. Although actually a bit more militia to just act as a garrison would be a good idea. We'll also have Angmar to contend with as well. On our way to Gundabad. Ugh. Dwildin. Oh, he's Grimborn, is he? Yeah. Oh, the dirt paths are done. Lovely.
I am a king.
Where was Mickle delving again? Oh, I don't bloody remember.
Of course, sire.
Dead Man's Dyke. I think this is the ruins of Fornost, is it not? Or is that further east somewhere? Let's have a look at the place. Is that a child with a beard? Yeah, a little baby dwarf. With a beard. All dwarves have beards. Oh, this is quite impressive. Actually, it looks even more atmospheric in the winter. Doesn't it? Yeah, I think this is definitely the ruins of Fornost. Or it's meant to be. I think no, there were some attempts, Raven. I believe there was a group trying to do one for Oblivion, but it got shut down for legal reasons. Sadly. The Tolkien estate got wind of it and they didn't like it. Not really sure why. Do all dwarves have beards? Or do all beards have dwarves? I see where you're going with that, but I feel like it's the former. MERP mod. Yeah, Middle-earth roleplay mod. Yeah. That brings back memories. Return to campaign map. Honestly, Lord of the Rings Online is probably the closest you're gonna get to an open world Lord of the Rings RPG. I mean, yeah. Although having said that, the Warband mod for the Lord of the Rings Mountain Blade Warband mod is pretty good too. It's not quite an open world RPG really, but again, closest you'll get. Well, I mean, that's your preference, Heartless Sage, and you're entitled to it, but in the books, Tolkien is extremely clear about the fact that female dwarves have beards.
Something to investigate.
My king.
They have beards and they don't get out much, and also there's not very many of them either. The male-female gender sort of split in dwarf society in Middle-earth is actually like really heavily male versus a very small minority of females. It's not a 50-50 split with the dwarves. It's quite interesting.
Aye, Lord. Aye, sire. Aye. Forward. Aye, Lord. Aye. Onward. That'll do him today, sire.
Right, that will probably do if I'm careful and clever. Me, careful and clever. That's a good laugh. But there wasn't a lot of in the way of a garrison there, frankly.
Yes, my king. Moving quietly.
Oh, we don't have a stoneworkers hall here, admittedly, do we? Alright, fine, let's do that. How are we getting on with the mining work? 2 turns there, 3 turns here, 3 turns here.
At your service.
The end turn times are quite quick in this, aren't they, for a Medieval 2 mod? It's a little bit surprising. Gondor and Isengard are at war. Oh, it's probably Isengard
Aye, sire.
doing what they frequently do in this, which is poke around here a little bit and wander into Gondor when they really shouldn't be. It's quite annoying to deal with when you play as Gondor yourself.
Marching now. Aye, sire.
Now then.
March.
There we go, yeah. Public order's not going to be an issue, I'm happy to say.
Yes, my king. On my way.
One more turn for those mines. Hung on Isengard there for a moment, didn't it? I wonder what old Saruman's up to. Isengard can be quite fun to play as, actually, when it comes to bad guy factions. Isengard are quite fun, because they're of all the bad guy factions, they have one of the more elite rosters. Gror. Age 16. He's a Longbeard. We do like our Longbeards, Duran's folk. Generally loyal. He's alright, isn't he, I suppose? Fine. Dol Guldur besieged. Interesting. Sounds like Lothlorien's on the fucking warpath, and I'm all about that. Good, love to see it. Osgiliath is under attack, though. New mission. Done lendings. Really? Where's my diplomat got to? Hanging out over here, aren't you?
Your command.
The done lendings are like all the way down here, though, dude. Like, come on, really? Do I have to go all the way down there? Christ, alright. Oh, we've arrived at Bree. You've reached Bree. This settlement in Eriador was established in the Third Age and is currently inhabited by men and hobbits. The inhabitants of Bree are the few who ever encounter travelling hobbits on a regular basis, since hobbits don't leave the Shire that often. Excuse me. Bree is located along the Great East Road in the Old Greenway, which made Bree a centre of trade and a resting place for travellers. For centuries, Bree has been safe from evil up to now, without any central authority present. This can be explained by the fact that the Dunedain protect the surrounding wilderness from all evil, without the citizens even knowing of the dangers outside their city walls. Should we have a look and see if Bree's got a unique map? It's got a unique model, which is nice. It does! Marvellous! I don't see any hobbit holes, though, in the hills, because that's where they should be. But yeah. Not still, regardless, not bad, not bad. Shouldn't the prancing pony be up here somewhere? As the green dragon, that should be in the Shire, though. I guess that's the prancing pony, though, effectively, for all intents and purposes. Oh, this looks hobbity. Yeah, here we go. Here's some hobbit dwellings. Yeah, I recognize this from playing Lord of the Rings Online. So when you fast travel to Bree, you turn up here, and if they even got the stable, they have. Yeah, I think. Well, it's not quite a stable, but they've got a little field here. It's kind of where the stable is, and then you go up that way towards the North Downs, and that way towards and all through there actually towards like Midgewater Marsh and that. Barrow Downs are over this way somewhere. And the Old Forest. The Old Forest and the Barrow Downs are another awesome, awesome location in that game. Eriador is like it's such fun to explore in Lord of the Rings Online. Honestly, it's good. There's so much fun stuff in there. Because honestly, one of my favorite parts of the Lord of the Rings is in the original books is actually all that very early segment between, you know, we start off with the Shire and then they leave and then they go through the Old Forest. They go to Buckland and then they go through the Old Forest and then the Barrow Downs and then on to Bree and what have you. And then they meet Strider, obviously. And there's a lot of that sort of early section. I mean, I know he's a very, very, very Marmite figure, is old Tom Bombadil, but actually the entire bit with the Tom Bombadil, from the Old Forest to the Barrow Downs, is one of my favourite parts of the entire story. Okay, we might have to annoy the elves a little bit here. I suppose I can get another diplomat, can I? I can. Let's hold fire then on annoying the elves just yet.
And your names at your service. They shall not see me, sire. On my way.
Just for now. We'll get a pig farm up and running down here, shall we? Mining network. We'll save up for that. Memories of Bree being a laggy mess. You'll be delighted to know that Bree is still a laggy mess. I visited the place just today, as a matter of fact, actually. I booted up Lotro earlier today, ahead of the big server migration that's about to happen. I did pass through Bree, and it was indeed a laggy mess, even today. Very good. Oh, hello. Ah, Dorwinian and Rune are at war, at last.
Aye, my lord.
Balin.
Pleased
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to have a little chit chat with the boys down there, see if you can get us some military access. Because I don't want to annoy the poor elves if I can help it. You know, it's not like Thranduil and his bunch over here. These guys are the Noldor. They're well, a fair few of them are Noldor anyway. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But these elves, generally speaking, we're cool with. We like these guys.
Aye, my liege. Something to investigate. Moving quietly. At your service. Something to investigate. Moving quietly. Honor, no.
Right. Mining complex is the next one. Took me 10 grand to do that. We will do it. I'm just thinking possibly going with a mining network here first. Grain exchange, maybe? Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, do that in the meantime. Paradowns were a lot of fun. Used it as a base for D&D campaign. As well you should. So much of D&D is inspired directly by that first, by Fellowship of the Ring at the end of the day. So.
My king.
Alright, can I maybe possibly please get some military access?
Proposition for us?
Oh, you can't have an alliance. You can't have military access without an alliance, can you? Maybe?
No, we cannot agree to this. You have further proposals. Please let us hear them.
Maybe a little bit of dosh.
I am not quite able to accept this. Another proposition. We're happy to listen. I do not believe I'm able to accept this. The pleasure was all
Fuck it, I tried.
Farewell.
We'll rest here for night.
But I mean, we can't really use a boat to get there, Deacon. Our destination is very, very much inland. So we're just gonna have to walk across this and tick them off a little bit. Hopefully not gonna do any permanent damage. Might as well get a grain exchange for Thorin's halls as well, actually. Since we're here. Answer the point is betrayal. No, it's not. Ugh. This isn't Warhammer Fantasy, okay? Elvish dwarvish relations in the Lord of the Rings are very complex. It's not a simple case of we're dwarves and we hate all elves. It doesn't work quite like that. It's complicated. It's a question of which elves. Because some of the elves, the dwarves love. They get on fantastically with them. Some of the other elves, not so much. Dorwinian Avari. A change has occurred in Dorwinian. The Avari have returned. Oh, Dorwinian's going down the Elvish route. Interesting. Cool, cool, cool. So if you play as Dorwinian in this, you basically get a choice. You can go down the Elvish route or the human route, and it changes your faction roster up and stuff like that. If you go the Avari route, you get some more Elvish units, and obviously you get the opposite if you go the other way. So makes them quite interesting to play as. Bit of replay value, but in this campaign, they're going with the elf flavored version of Dorwinian. It's funnier if dwarves hate all elves. It's not though, really. The joke gets old really fast. It's kind of like when you get Elder Scrolls people who do the whole, oh, Argonians are farming implements, right? Yeah, it's like, it was funny for about 10 seconds years ago. Now I'm over it. Let's get a thunder attack again. The pig farm in more positive news is complete. And the Haradrim and Aradunaim are at war with each other. That's interesting. Haradrim tribes and Aradunaim. No, well, can't say I'll shed any tears over that.
My king, in your name, sire.
We'll be seeing that particular message a lot. Yes. I'm afraid so. We haven't had a look at Thorin's halls yet, have we? One moment. Oh, hello. Is that Arda when it was flat? Before it became round, it must be. Oh, here we go. Thorin's halls. Big and hallish. And this is the outside. Not bad. Erebor definitely looks more impressive. As it should. But not bad. One hell of a choke point, yep. Kind of like the Bridge of Khazad Doom, you know. Dwarves know their choke points. You really want to do a Haradrim campaign? Go ham with the Muma kill. Yeah, could be fun. I have to admit I've not played as them before, but I feel like I should. Can you reconquer Khazad Doom? You can. Oh my dude. There's a series I did with them on my YouTube channel that's saved on there. But you can choose the Dwarves of Khazad Doom faction in this, which starts off a campaign where you start off at Erebor with Balin and a small army, and you have to fight your way across Mirkwood or north around Mirkwood. You get a choice of which direction you want to go in, and there's some story events along the way, and there's a whole quest to get to Khazad Doom, then retake it, and then rebuild it. It's a whole thing.
Aye, my liege.
Oh, there's Graw. I was wondering where he was.
Aye,
What up, Graw? Graw, I'm going to send you down this way, mate.
march no further today.
Well, the pig farm's done. Maybe a brewery for a bit more culture increase. Yeah, let's get a brewery. We'll make dwarves of you yet.
Honor, my lord. Be of service.
I'm going to leave you there as just our general dedicated elf diplomat. I think for now. Meanwhile, you're supposed to be on your way to try and find the Dunlendings, aren't you? Somewhere down here. Oh, hello. Mangalan. This is in the Barrow Downs, isn't it? Independent Village, Orc Marauders. Gorgash. Barrow Whites. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not very nice. They're not very nice at all. They've got 2 units of them, in fact. We take a look at this. Is there a special... Oh, I've clicked on the wrong square. I'd like to see if there's a special battle map for the Barrow Downs. Oh, look, Barrow Fog on the Barrow Downs quote down there. Perfect. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Check it out. It's even spooky and foggy looking. Literally fog on the Barrow Downs. God, I love this mod. I really, really love this mod so much. The yells were deafening, the rocks were stained black with goblin blood. It's been a while since I've read The Hobbit, you know. I've got a reproduction of the original edition of it around here somewhere with the original cover art. I think it's in my bedroom. Yeah, in fact, it's on the shelf next to my illustrated edition of the Silmarillion. I think I might be due a reread of The Hobbit. Right, keep going this way. Dunland is sort of in this vague general direction, isn't it? So, another Dunedain town.
Aye, my liege.
Never been a huge Total War guy, but playing as dwarves in this might get you into it. Knock yourself out, man. This is probably the most popular mod for Medieval 2, and with good reason at the end of the day. Medieval 2 has just a mind-blowing selection of incredible mods these days. It's bonkers, frankly, but I think it's probably true that this is the most popular. We've covered a lot of Medieval 2 mods on the channel over the years. But I have to admit, this is one of the ones I come back to the most often, the most frequently. Randos is under attack again. Mordor still trying to poke its way into Gondor somehow. Hasn't succeeded yet.
Aye, noble sir. We march to glory.
At your service.
This is the bit where I find out I have not brought enough troops. I think we can do it, but could be dicey. We might. I think we'll probably take quite a few casualties, but I think we can do it. Oh, merchant cavalry, yes please. We've got some cav. Not very good cav, but we've got some cav. That's going to make a difference. Bring some humans along for the ride. And their horses. If I had to, I'm thinking like, what are my top 3 kind of Medieval 2 mods these days? It's probably this. Sardoms and Europa Barbarorum 2. I mean, I love Insularis Draco as well. I think it gets the 4th place / honourable mention in Insularis Draco, but the other 3 just have a little bit more going on in them these days, I would say. That is a toughie though, because Insularis Draco is rather wonderful, and I've put a lot of hours into that mod.
Aye, forward. The men have marched still in it. My king. We march to battle.
At your service.
Should we save up for the mining network, or should we build something else in the meantime? The pig farm? The pig farm.
Honor
Just 2 more turns.
by your
You tried the Wallachia campaign in Sardoms and got your ass kicked more or less immediately. Nice. I've done 2 campaigns in Sardoms. I did one as the Eastern Byzantines. You know, the Eastern Byzantine faction, and I've done one as Milan. Milan was a lot easier. Fornos assaulted. We didn't make it in time. I don't know what they expected from us, honestly.
awaiting
I mean, we've made it as far as Dunland territory here, it looks like.
lord. Of course, sir.
Yeah, we finally actually made it to Tharbad. There you go. I'm not going to actually talk to them just yet, in case the council decides to reissue me that mission. I suppose Enedwythe we might find down here somewhere, though, so...
Of course, sir.
Oh. No, we're not going anywhere this turn. They're blocking the way.
I am a warrior.
Bloody Dunlendings. Wonder if Tharbad's got a unique map. Let's have a look, shall we? Bloody pirates. I think there's not a pirate class in Lord of the Rings Online these days, but it's the mariner class, isn't it? You can play as a mariner. A sailor type character in Lord of the Rings Online these days. No, this is what Tharbad looks like. I don't think it's a unique model, is it? Nah. I feel like Tharbad should be ruined. Pretty sure it is in this time period. But whatever. Haven't played as a mariner yet in Lord of the Rings Online. It'd be a good choice for an elf character, though. Sadly, I already have an elf character who's a minstrel, so I don't really feel like making another one just to try out mariners, but you know.
Tired of ordering you.
Be of service.
Bards are pretty hardcore in when it comes to the Lord of the Rings. They're pretty bonkers. So when it came to making myself a high elf character, I was like, yeah, we're absolutely playing a minstrel.
At your service.
Honor, my lord.
Literally going to destroy the forces of evil with my loot. Well, with my selection of instruments, actually.
Aye, noble son.
We're so close. No more mercenaries available, sadly.
Something to investigate.
What kind of settlement are we dealing with here? Let's have a look. I'm trying to decide whether we should assault it or siege it out. and someone in the Silmarillion have a singing duel against Morgoth. I know that Finrod, Galadriel's brother, was killed in a singing duel with Sauron. Oh, cool. Alright, this is going to be tough to take, isn't it? Potentially. Yes, Finrod tragically died in what one might be humorously described as a rap battle with Sauron, but yes. Doesn't really give us a lot of room for the cavalry, does it, this? It's all bottleneck. Arguably that could favour us, though, what with the pikemen. Greek mythology had a flute duel that ended up with the loser getting skinned alive, so yes. And well, as I'm sure we're aware, Tolkien was very up on his classics, so... That reminds me, I have Stephen Fry's translations of the Iliad and the Odyssey on my shelf at home, actually. I've yet to read them. I bought them in a moment of impulse when I was in Waterstones a couple of months ago, but I never got around to actually starting to read them. Morgoth is probably the best rapper. He almost dissed Ero. Well, is this the thing you have to remember, right? You know, Lord of the Rings. It all begins with a song. Music's it's a really big, important part of the setting.
An honor, my lord.
At your service.
Aye, noble sire.
Your honor.
My lord. Honor.
Well, we're sat on a decent pile of money that continues to grow. Economically, we seem to be doing fucking fantastic.
Aye, my liege.
Yes, my king.
Adunai, I wonder what they're up to. I think in the newest version of EUR as well, they're giving you a cool option for Adunai where you can actually choose where you want to start on the map. Byrig besieged. The main city of the Dunishkin is now besieged by numerous attackers. Oh, that's also fantastic news. What is going on in this campaign? Dunland is getting wrecked. Usually it doesn't go that way. Skeliath under attack again. Bjorn's Hall besieged. Dorwinion Resplendent. Nice. Moria and the Dunlendings are fighting each other now. That's interesting.
Honor, my lord.
That might explain why their capital is now besieged.
My lord? Aye, sir. Yes, sire. I'll continue tomorrow, sire.
If I find out Erebor's beaten me to Gundabad, I'm going to be so annoyed. But this is an interesting campaign so far, based on what seems to be going on out there in the world.
My king,
Right. Buzer Doom.
men with honor, sire. Aye, sire. Laying siege at once. Aye, sire. We hold them at siege.
I wonder if they'll sally forth. Crumbled vaults. Oh, it's a building there. Deep beneath the mountains of southern Ered Luin, the dwarves of the First Age built a monolithic labyrinth of vaults and chambers to store all the treasures of Nogrod and Belagost that they were able to save. Hordes of weapons and armor of the First Age, along with treasures and jewels. I think we've read this before. Yeah, we have. Only 4 turns to starve them out. That might honestly be worth it. Is everywhere building something? Everywhere except for Perth and Loon. Militia garrison, maybe? Beef up public order a bit? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we'll see if they sally. If they sally, then that's fine. Anyway, yeah, Ar-Adonai in the new version of EUR, I think they're going to get an option where you can choose where on the map you want to start with them. Because Ar-Adonai, done landings again. I thought they might do that. Ar-Adonai, by default, they start off down here somewhere outside of Umbar. And typically, the first thing you do with them is you take Umbar. Because they start off as a sort of unlanded horde faction, if I recall. But what a lot of people like to do is actually hop on a boat with Ar-Adonai, take their army of Black Numenorians, and basically fucking either march it or sail it to somewhere else in Middle-earth entirely and start their campaign up there. Basically a good old-fashioned Rome Total War style migration campaign is what people like to do with Ar-Adonai. And so in order to streamline that process a bit, in the new version of EUR, version 2.0, they're giving you an option basically to choose one of the most popular locations people tend to do that, and go with that right from the get-go. So I think some of the popular options were down around here-ish somewhere in southern Gondor. Another option I think is up here somewhere. And there's another option that's quite far inland, up in this direction somewhere as well, I think. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of fun. But in this campaign, Ar-Adonai seem to be at war with Harad, which is fascinating. So they're being a bit of a rogue, weird wild card down there in the south. Evil seems to be infighting a bit in this campaign, which is interesting, honestly. Well, they haven't sallied out yet.
Honor, my lord. By your will, sire, we shall engage.
I feel like I'll just maintain the siege for now. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I'm going to do it.
On my way. Yes.
What have we got down here? Dolvorn.
On my way.
Ooh, that's a lot of cell swords. Yeah, I feel like I'd need some reinforcements to take that lot on. Pig farm's done, eh? Nice. Do you want a large pig farm, or should we save up for a mining? I think let's save up for a mining network. Cell swords are not to be underestimated. No, they are not, are they? I got quite a lot of use out of cell swords in Was it the Buzer Doom campaign or was it a different one? No. It was the High Elves campaign I did ages ago. I got quite a lot of use out of sellswords in that campaign. They're a pretty darn good unit. As mercenaries go. Dale and Dolguldur are at war, huh? Interesting.
Aye, my liege.
2 turns.
At your service.
Aaron Vaughan.
Something to investigate. They shall not see me, sire.
Bit of exploring out that way.
Quietly.
Oops, I was going to build the mining network this term, and oops, never mind. Osgiliath didn't want to be constantly besieged. He shouldn't have built it so close to Mordor. Niels. Osgiliath, obviously, as you can probably imagine, has its own unique battle map in this mod, and it's quite fun. Kerandros under attack. Yeah, that's got a unique battle map as well. Fenastrunin assaulted, eh? Elves and Rangers alike have much to fear this day, for the home of the Dunedain is besieged by its enemies. That's not good. The One Ring has been located, eh? Where? It's kept by a general in Isengard. Now that is bad news. Says Saruman got the One Ring? That's concerning.
Can I be of service? Aye, sire.
What
Right.
is it you wish to discuss?
Trade rights.
You hold us so there is something else.
Map info for some dosh.
You hold us at rant. This was a waste of time.
Mission success. Bit of extra money. Mining complex, 12 turns. Let's do it. Drop the big money on that. Upgrade our pig farms in the meantime over there.
Aye, noble sire.
1 turn until surrender. Let's have at it. Let's cause a rift between him and Sauron. Oh no. I think I don't know what happens when somebody like Saruman gets the One Ring in this mod. What's going on there with the whole where is the One Ring thing is essentially a very clever repurposing of Medieval 2's Crusade mechanic. What's essentially happened there is that the Invisible Pope faction has declared a crusade on Isengard. Ah, right, they are going to sally. Very well. Captain Sharthak.
Attack!
Alright, it's a sally, so we're going to start off with no pause. Take up position. You guys still got this ram, haven't you? Right, double time it, everybody. The enemy is sallying. Here they come.
I shall lead you.
We're here, laddie. Grab your weapon. Guardians at the ready.
You guys gonna start shooting? Yeah, you are. Good. I'd like you to mow down as many gobos as possible. Target-rich environment, admittedly. AI is doing AI things. You know what, pikemen? Move. Oh, I see some of our guys have actually got upgraded armor and some don't. Look at that. These guys have got chainmail. The other two units don't, though. I think this must be an extra unit I recruited, because they've got the armor upgrade. Wonderful little feature of Medieval 2 Total War that was never used again in the series. The visible unit upgrades. Always liked that. Alright, pikey boys.
The battle is very much
Welcome to the murder zone, gobbos.
Victory will be
You're just elevated enough that hopefully my crossbowmen can get, yes, lots and lots of unhindered shots into you. I think I'll bring up the king for moral support. On with you guys. The merchant cav, not sure what to do with you, really, honestly. Oh, you guys should probably be in loose formation. You are getting shot at. Here's the merchant cav, in case you're wondering, with their little Breelander banner. Lovely models, actually. Some of the more sort of obscure, less popular factions in this mod tend to have some really, really beautiful units, because they're the ones that have been worked on the most recently. Tighten up. Yes, do tighten up. Quillo formation. What is going on here? The other two units are doing a grand job, but oh bloody hell! If only if only Medieval 2 had cinematic cam. Best I can do is hit scroll lock and get the letterbox view. I don't like to do the scroll lock thing too often though, because sometimes it glitches out. Should get a unit of Rohirrim as an excuse to say the lines. I know. Believe me, I really was very tempted to do a Rohan campaign this evening. I saw a little like YouTube Shorts clip of Theoden's speech at the Pelennor Fields the other day, and I was just like, fuck. It's like, God damn, is that not one of the best speeches ever written before a battle? I feel like you guys are fighting properly. You're just sort of standing there and letting the goblins hit you, and I'm not about that. Oh, hello. The goblin bodyguards getting stuck in, are they? Can you guys do a little bit of sniping on the goblin bodyguards? That would be grand. Is there another way in? Don't think there is there? Someone kill that banner bearer. Go on, bring him down. Bernard Hill absolutely made that. He really did, didn't he? Like, a lesser actor would not have been able to sell that speech nearly as well as he did.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Are these the fellas? They are, yeah. You're getting a teensy-weensy bit of friendly fire here, which is ungood. I'm losing my words. Not ideal. But, on the whole, though, it's going well. Dwarves doing dwarf things right here. Heroic stuff. Love it. Alright, your shots are landing a little close there for my liking, so we're going to shift you to shooting at them up there. How many goblin bodyguards are left anyway? 5 of them. Look at these pikes go. I knew playing as the pike-focused dwarf faction would be fun. Stupid goblin archers. Look at all those dead orcs. They get an advantage from being uphill. I mean the orcs are going to get a bit of an advantage for having the higher ground here, but it's not helping them. They're thoroughly outmatched. I mean, goblin infantry can't be one of the worst units in the game. They're just terrible. How are you guys doing? Tired, winded. I'm wondering if I should pop the stubbornness of dwarves. Would we really benefit from that at all? Not yet, I don't think. We really need a good pike and shot total war game, don't we? We just haven't gotten that. There have been some mods over the years to cover that time period, but we need like a good pike and shot, like official total war game.
The enemy general lies.
Finally!
Let
That
the
took long enough, didn't it? Oh, what's going on over here?
and let our
Oh, my Ered Luin scouts have moved up. Right. I thought for a second there like we had like a rogue unit of orcs down there among us. Scarthak is dead. Good riddance. You guys are out of ammo, aren't you? Up you go then. You guys are getting tired, aren't you? Alright, let's pop the ability. I don't suppose you got one. No. Look at them run. Oh.
The field. After them. Cut the cowards down.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Our foe is utterly
287 soldiers
Let
lost.
all who remember this day remember it as the day of our most glorious.
Got a few healed among the pikemen, which is nice. But yeah, pretty heroic work there. The Tumunzahar nobles got 414 kills just with their crossbows. That's crazy. The scouts did well as well. 272. Yeah, ranged units in this mod are pretty fucking bonkers. The good ones are anyway. Bit surprising there isn't an official Total War Lord of the Rings game. Would have guessed they'd make that before to Warhammer. Maybe they wanted to, but they couldn't get the license. Who knows? And maybe they still will. It's a bit unclear what Creative Assembly are going to do next now, really. There's been lots of rumours, hasn't there? There was a rumour they were doing a 40k thing. There was a rumour they were doing a Star Wars thing.
A noble victory.
Alright, occupy it. Buzer Doom is ours. Excellent news, we've reclaimed Buzer Doom and now all of the Blue Mountains are once again controlled by the Dwarves. We can now turn our attention to the Great Vaults. Our surveyors believe they have found the crumbled gateway to the vaults, but it will take many seasons to map out the first tier of the vaults. The cost will be high, but the reward will be beyond imagining. Osgiliath is under attack for a change. New mission, Enedwythe. I thought that might be it. Right, what have we got going on here in Buzer Doom, eh? First expedition. There it is. For the moment, Stoneworkers Hall.
At your
The
service.
Mimond.
They shall not see
Hang out back here. In fact, Get you over there in friendly territory.
Sire, no further this day.
Oops. You don't have a pig farm at all in this place? My god. Somehow missed that. It's embarrassing. I think we can, yeah, we can put the tax rate back to roughly normal now. You know, I'll get the healer's post for the teensy-weensy bit of extra pop growth. Alright. Buzer Doom acquired. Fine work, everybody. How much money does it make? It's already making us quite a bit of cash. I think it already has some mines, doesn't it? Yes. Orc mines, admittedly, but it's got mines. Yeah, let's get the speed bump hard at work again, yes. Like, I'm pretty sure it hasn't escaped the notice of people working at Creative Assembly how popular this is. And how popular the Attila Lord of the Rings mod is as well. And how popular the Lord of the Rings mod for CK3 is, which people often use with the Attila mod, using Crusader Wars and stuff and what have you. And yeah, like, I think there's a lot of people at Creative Assembly who I think very much understand that a Lord of the Rings Total War would be a no-brainer, because people have been making Lord of the Rings mods for Total War ever since the original Rome at the end of the day.
Something to investigate. Moving quietly.
Nar. I'm gonna get you building some watchtowers, matey. I love that watchtowers only cost you 10 gold in this. Do we get you a little unique model for a dwarf watchtower? Kind of. $9,000 in our pockets already. Pig farms, mining complex. 10 more turns remaining on that still. Jesus. And the problem with Game of Thrones is that, like, as an IP, it's just not what it once was, right? Lord of the Rings is weird in that it has this constant, enduring popularity, and probably always will. It's the reason why, like, the Lord of the Rings tabletop game that Games Workshop sells is still in production after all these years, with all those ancient plastic models still in circulation. Because it just the Lord of the Rings will always be popular. It's why the Lord of the Rings Online is still bloody going after all these years, where so many other free-to-play MMOs from that era have long since gone the way of the dodo. Lord of the Rings Online continues to chug onwards because people fucking love Tolkien, and they always will. You know, the Lord of the Rings is like the Doom of books. And I'm in that sense, I mean like Doom the video game, you know? It's just like, it's never not going to be popular. The Emissary, here we go. From the frozen mists of the Loon Valley, a sole emissary came to our walls. From head to foot he was garbed in black robes, and he spoke with a soft, warm voice. His face was obscured to our gate guards, but they reported feeling cold as he spoke, as though his words froze the thin air around him. He said that he was here on behalf of a great lord of the south who had come into possession of 3 great rings. This benevolent lord was willing to give the rings to the dwarves, and in return he asked only one thing: that we shut the gates of the mountains and let none come or go until the emissary returned. He spoke of how these rings would bring us great wealth and strength, and that they surpassed the old 7 in majesty and power. Our guards met his request with scorn. We dwarves are not so easily fooled. They bid him show them the rings, and they will bring his message to the clan lord. In a flash of dazzling light, the emissary dismounted his horse and was down on his knees before the guards, his arm outstretched, and on his dark fingers sat 3 fantastic rings. Such beauty and craftsmanship had not been seen since the days of the First Age. The guards were enthralled and called for the clan lord immediately. Grinfaun, the web of support growing wide, his web of support growing wide, was the first to the gate. We do not know what words were spoken between the emissary and the upstart, but there can be no doubt the rings are masterfully crafted, and there is much suspicion that they are in fact 4 of the 7 forged by Celebrimbor in the depths of the Second Age. We cannot know who the Great Lord is or the origin of these rings, but Sauron's name is whispered on many lips. The decision will be yours in time, my lord, as the emissary said he would return in 2 years for our answer. Dale and Rune are at war. That's canonical, at least.
Honor. In your names. Marching now. I, noble son, setting a vigilant watch here.
Someone writes a fantasy novel and everyone immediately asks, can it run Lord of the Rings? Can we get a fog of war reveal at Isengard? Yeah, we'll have a little tour. We'll see what's up out in the rest of the world before we go.
At your service.
Credit to Clamavidi Profundus there, by the way, for providing some awesome backing music as I read that sequence. Alright, let's go with first expedition. Let's start it. 10 turns. Right, so in the books, actually, it was very much a canon event that Sauron sent an emissary to Erebor, actually. Up over here somewhere. Where the hell is Erebor? It's about here-ish, isn't it, somewhere? I think. Where's Erebor? Oh, there we go. Lovely. Yeah, they... Sauron sent an emissary to Erebor offering the rings, some of the dwarven rings of power to the dwarves, and to their credit, according to Gimli and Glowin, who are at the present at the big council in Rivendell, according to them, the dwarves told Sauron's emissary where he could stick those rings. If you capture a Palantir, you can get a Fog of War peak as a function. Yes, you can actually. Yeah, that's true. It's quite neat actually, that. But I'm okay with cheating a bit here. Let's have it. Oh, Erebor is going westwards. They are fighting the orcs of Gundabad. I shall be a bit annoyed if they make it to Gundabad before I do, but it is a possibility. Then again, they might be fighting the Easterlings pretty soon, too. Dorwinion looks like it's doing alright. How are things down here in Gondor? Yeah. They're still battering away at Osgiliath, aren't they? Getting lots of banging and crashing coming from next door. Unfortunately, I think I have a new neighbour next door. I think someone new has moved in back there. And they've been banging and crashing and playing a lot of loud music. This happens every now and again. Generally speaking, all the folks who live next door, it's like a house share. And most of the guys who live next door are perfectly normal, awesome people. But every now and again, they always seem to get one tenant who causes a shitload of trouble until eventually they get kicked out. Seems like we've found one of those again. Yeah, Osgiliath is definitely looking a little bit like it doesn't have much of a garrison right now, but were it to be attacked, it would have this stack assisting, so... How are things going down over here? Aradunayam causing some trouble. Being rascally little scamps down here. Are they fighting Harad still?
I am a warrior, not an emissary, my lord. There is healthy respect between us, my lord. I am a warrior, not an emissary, my lord.
Farazim nobles. They have some pretty sweet looking units, the Aradunayam, I have to admit.
There is healthy
Being bad
respect
never looked quite so
between us.
good was when you're playing as these guys. Ooh, canned.
The peace between us shall prevail.
These guys have some lovely looking units too, actually, canned. They're quite fun because they can go. They're a bit like us, actually. They can go good or evil. Most of the time they go evil, but there's a chance they can go good as well. You can have the blue wizards sort of bring them back to the side of good.
I am a warrior, not a diplomat. As much as you may wish it, I am not yours.
I want to see a unit. Oh, here we
I
go.
am not a dignitary.
Uldor with his Locarim bodyguard. Your Easterlings. Yeah, they've taken back Mornithel, haven't they? They have to do that, I think, in order to Dorwinion, in order to get the story choice where they go with the elves or whatnot. Dale is... What's Dale up to? Dale doing Dale things. Dale... Did Dale have borders with a single evil faction right now? I think they... Yeah, no, yes, they have a border with Dol Guldur. Otherwise, Dale is, like, nicely cushioned in on all sides by, like, Erebor, Dorwinion, the Woodland Realm. Yeah, like, the only enemy border they have is right here. With Dol Guldur. Dol Guldur on the other hand. Oh, no, they haven't actually lost it. I think Lothlorien probably made an attempt at taking it, but unsuccessfully, it looks like, in the end. What's going on over here, then? So, the Misty Mountains goblins are rampaging about a bit. They've apparently been fighting Dunland. They have Austin Ethel. What's going on up here? High Elves are hanging about. Elraher and Elrond and Gildor and Glorian as well.
I am a warrior,
What up, Gildor?
not an emissary, my lord.
He's another
There is healthy
book character.
respect between us.
Frodo and Sam and... Was it Merry and Pippin as well at that point? I forget. I think it is. They
I
meet
am a
Gildor
warrior, not an emissary, my lord.
just outside the Shire. Quite early in Fellowship of the Ring.
I am a warrior, not a diplomat.
I don't think they've got what's his face? What's his name? What's the name? Very famous elf. The one that friggin' died and then came back, got sent back because his job wasn't done yet. I'm really struggling with remembering my character names today for some reason. Glorfindel, thank you, yes. Yeah, I don't think they've got Glorfindel yet. But you can get Glorfindel when you're playing as the High Elves.
There is healthy respect between us, my lord. I am a warrior,
Alderin
not
Horse
an
Guard.
emissary, my lord.
So I think in the next version of EUR, Imladris, aka Rivendell, and Linden are going to be split into two separate factions that can be unified. And they're going to add an additional faction down here somewhere, which is going to be the remnants of the Kingdom of Eregion. And they're going to be a kind of fun faction you can use if you want to play as sort of bad guy elves. You don't really get bad guy elves. You just get elves with anger management issues, really. This is how it kind of goes. But you want to play as your Feanorian, slightly murdery, bloodthirsty elves with some serious anger management problems. That would be the faction you want to play as. Glorfindel is just, yeah, he's kind of a badass. He kills a Balrog in the Silmarillion and dies, and then in the Third Age, I think it's in the at some point in the Third Age, he gets sent back to Middle Earth across the sea because the Valar are just like, yep, you're not done yet, matey. You got to go back. Captain Durin's Bane. Wait a minute. Yeah. That's quite funny. So there's some little goblin down there who's like cosplaying as a Balrog. That's pretty adorable. This was just called a Balrog.
Is that what you want?
What's going on here with the names? Very strange. Khazad-dûm does still survive as a faction for now, at least. Balin and the boys. Rohan, how is Rohan doing? Oh, Rohan. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, poor Rohan. Rohan never has a good time in this mod. Rohan's getting a beating. Poor Rohan. Oh well. How far have Isengard got? They're being weirdos again, aren't they, and expanding west. They haven't actually made it into Gondor yet. Or if they did, they got beaten back. Enid White's over here somewhere. Oh, actually, where's my blasted diplomat? There he is. I'm going to move you in the direction of Enid White here, so we can fulfill that other council mission.
My lord. Of course,
There we go.
Stop here, sire.
News. Everything's going up here in the Vale of Anduin. The Bjornings are heroically holding on for now. Emphasis on the for now, though. Gundabad is doing Gundabad things. And Dol Guldur is, like, pretty surrounded by enemies, to be honest, actually, is Dol Guldur, but, like, they're still hanging in there, aren't they, at the moment? Lothlorien is just sort of sitting there. I feel like they probably made an attempt to take Dol Guldur, and it didn't go well. Lothlorien would be kind of a fun campaign, actually. Now that when I sit and think about it. Because there's so many, like, I feel like you're not going to do a lot of conquering yourself as Lothlorien necessarily, but there's a lot of people nearby who you can help, right? You can go north and help the Bjornings. You can go east and try and take out Dol Guldur, obviously. But you can also go south and try and help out Rohan, which is what they actually did in the films, didn't they? They turn up at Helm's Deep, don't they? Which did not happen in the books, by the way. But in the films, it did. It could be quite fun to try and rescue Rohan as Lothlorien, I must admit. Because Rohan usually do pretty routinely get their asses beaten to death in this mod. Be fast to say the factions you don't think would be fun to play. Yeah, to be fair. I don't feel like Enid Wythe would be very much fun. I don't see myself ever playing as Enedwaith. Dunland also... I think I'd struggle to get a lot of fun out of Bree. But I could be wrong. Maybe Bree are secretly actually awesome, but I just don't realise it. But Bree don't feel like they're an awful lot of fun. I don't know why you'd play as Bree instead of like the Rangers, honestly. Is the thing. Angmar's kind of big. Wormtongue is in Lothlorien, is he? Oh yeah, there he is.
You have something in mind for our people, noble one?
Northern Dunedain Reunited Kingdom is probably peak content. Yeah, it is really. I don't know why you choose to play as Bree. I think you can reform Arnor as Bree if you want to, but it's just more fun to play as the Northern Dunedain, really, I think. I mean, Erebor could be fun, I guess. Same goal, really, I suppose, as us, really, which is Gundabad. And you're playing as Erebor, and maybe some skirmishes with the Easterlings. See, in the lore, what actually happens is the Easterlings, they make it all the way to Dale, don't they? I think. Rune's armies make it all the way to Dale, and the dwarves and the Dale men have a big old battle against the Easterlings, and I think the king of the dwarves dies. And so does the King of Dale as well. It's a big epic battle up here, but Rune is defeated, ultimately. Yeah, that's unlikely to happen, though, in this, to be honest, unless you're actually playing as Rune yourself. Druidine. No, the Druidine. You can recruit a few Druidine mercenary units, but no, they're not a faction. Be hilarious if they were, though, wouldn't it? Not to be confused with the Dunedain, as Django has just done. The Druidine are a completely different thing. They hang out down here. The Druidine. Another thing that happens in the books that doesn't ever come up in the films. Maybe I'd play as Harad. But, yeah, I think Harad's another faction that's pretty low on my list. And Canned, honestly. I don't know. Canned could be kind of funny, because you can do a migration campaign type thing with Canned as well. You can choose to up sticks and just become a horde. And you could do some silly, funny shenanigans with Canned, admittedly. So, no, they're not so bad. Ironically, I feel like I don't see myself playing as Mordor anytime soon. Oh, to tell you the truth.
Is that what you want?
Only reason to play as Harad is to use Oliphants. Yes, it is, really. Yeah, but it's kind of funny, but I don't really see myself I've never played as Mordor, and I don't really see myself playing as Mordor anytime soon either. I don't really feel like playing as Dol Guldur either, honestly. I mean, Goblins of Moria. Goblins of Moria are sort of... They're a bit shit, to be honest. They're a bit shit, but they're kind of fun from that perspective in the sense that they're kind of a fun challenge faction, actually, the Goblins of Moria. It's not how you imagine Ringwraith to sound. Gundabad would be fun, just to have those Hobbit vibes, you know. Hobbit is in the book. Head east out from Gundabad, across here, to try and take out Dale and Thranduil and Erebor all at once. Kill some Bjornings along the way as well. Do a bit of murdering. Yeah. Anyway, that concludes our tour. Nar's been out there building watchtowers. We've secured this. We're beginning the first expedition. Apparently we've got 2 years until Sauron's emissary turns up again, and I will be telling him to shove those rings up his arse. And then, ultimately, barring any further distractions, which may arise, which you'll see, I would like to begin heading east, across Forakel, and probably probably fighting Angmar relatively soon, honestly. We're going to have to get through Angmar to get to Gundabad, ultimately, so I think a large part of this campaign is going to be beating the shit out of Angmar, which will not be as easy as I'd like it to be, I'm sure. Oh, I like this music. This is from Lord of the Rings Online. It's some of the music that plays when you are in a dwarf town. Like if you're in Thorin's halls, for example, this music you can hear playing in the background. It's one of the tracks that plays. It's quite good. Otro is a very good soundtrack, actually. It's very underrated. Any unique buildings here? Oh, there we go, Thorin's Hall. This majestic and giant hall was cut into the Blue Mountains by the dwarves under the leadership of Thrain, or Thrain, really, would be the correct pronunciation, and Thorin. At the crest of the impressive stairs from the court, a visitor enters a section known as Thorin's Gates, with the hardened entrance to the hall. I love all the little illustrations for the buildings here, by the way. I wonder if it's taken from somewhere. Because they have this little, like, Warcraft 3 style RTS kind of looking vibe to them, don't they? Anyway, ladies and gents. Another thing that happens in the tabletop game, Garn Burigan actually being a character along with Druidine units. Yeah. I don't know if they sell the models for those anymore, mind you, but yeah, they're certainly in the book. I've got it over there somewhere. It's in my big pile of wargaming and tabletop RPG books. But yeah. That tabletop game is pretty sweet. I mean, it really branches out in a lot of ways you wouldn't expect, you know? Like, there's rules for Arnor in there, you know? There's rules for Arnor and Angmar and the Dwarves of Khazad Doom, as in you can play as the last king of Khazad Doom and have him fight against the Balrog, if you want to. You can also have Balin leading Balin's expedition. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. It's a very fun game. It's scale wise it's interesting because it's sort of like about halfway between a skirmish game like Necromunda and a bigger game like Warhammer. It's sort of about halfway between. You control all the models individually and not as units, but there's a lot more of them than if you were playing something like Necromunda or Mordheim with simplified rules for them. But you can still have lots of funny things happen in a skirmish game kind of a way. I played one game against a friend of mine, which I will always remember because it was very, very good fun. I lost it. I lost it super badly because I made a very silly army. I was playing as Isengard. And I brought, I think it was like either 3 or 4 Isengard trolls, and that was almost the entire army. It was just like 3 or 4 trolls and just a few scattered handfuls of Uruk-hai. And he brought a bunch of Lothlorien elves along with Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas. Needless to say, they kicked the shit out of... And Haldir as well, yeah. And they kicked the shit out of my army. Because the trolls just didn't... The trolls did not do troll things. They were not very good. But one funny thing happened in the game, which is that Legolas basically spent 2 whole turns of the game not really contributing or doing anything because he repeatedly kept trying to climb over a fence and failed. He had to do a little check to see if he climbed successfully over an obstacle. In this case, a fence. And on 2 turns on the trot, my friend rolled a 1 on that check for Legolas. So Legolas, for like 2 turns of this game, just found himself just fucking tangled up in a fence, unable to do anything. What's the matter, Legolas? Never taken a shortcut before? Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. It was him, Aragorn, and Gimli all ran through that field. Aragorn and Gimli successfully make it over the fence, and Legolas just face planted into it for 2 turns. It was so funny. I've had a lot of fun with that game over the years. It's been jolly good. A friend of mine, I need to get in touch with him at some point and ask him if he wants another game at some point, because it's good fun. He even made like a homebrew Númenórean army roster, as in Númenor before Númenor sank under the waves. He had Ar-Pharazôn in the list as a character, and we did a game with Ar-Pharazôn and his Númenóreans fighting out against Sauron, and then, you know, capturing Sauron, which was good fun as well. Anyway, folks, we've had some good fun. I want to continue this, but in order to do so, I may have to try and figure out some sort of solution for the copyright issues, because we might get mega unlucky and have some of the VOD downright muted, which does happen sometimes. But we'll see whether or not we were fortunate in that regard. So whether or not we continue with this series will depend largely, as always, a little bit on the views, but also on the copyright situation, unfortunately. So watch this space. We'll see what happens with it. I will be back with more Morrowind. We'll be continuing with Project Cyrodiil, on and off, I think, for the foreseeable future. Hopefully on Wednesday, perhaps. We shall see. I'm about 50-50 on whether or not I'm going to stream tomorrow, because I'm hoping to go for a trip out of town tomorrow, and I don't know when I'm going to be back exactly. If I can make it back in time to do a stream tomorrow, it would be nice, though. I know, Izzy, I think, may have manually modded him that himself, Deacon. Because I do watch Izzy's videos every now and again. If you haven't seen them, folks, he's a YouTuber who does lots of very wonderful Third Age Total War playthroughs. And yeah, I know he has a modded setup where he has all the copyrighted music removed. I don't know how he did it though, unfortunately. So I've tried doing that kind of thing myself in the past, like we did with Insularis Draco, and I kind of buggered it up as a result. It was a very imperfect solution. And this mod has a lot of custom, like, sound, music, voice acting-y stuff, a lot more than Insularis Draco did. So I really wouldn't know where to begin when it came to trying to mod the copyrighted stuff out myself. So I did look around. I googled, today prior to the stream, trying to find out if there was a submod for this that removed the copyrighted music, but there doesn't seem to be one. So whatever it is he did was either done by himself or for him by someone, and it's not something publicly available I can download, unfortunately. So hope you can do a Cozy Sunday stream, but understand if not. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, folks. I would like to, though. It would be nice. As I said, I wanna maybe start doing some Elder Scrolls Online as well, but maybe we'll wait until I'm finished with Project Cyrodiil to do that. We'll see. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a part of me that would like to stream some Lord of the Rings Online, but I've pretty religiously stuck to keeping Lotro separate from the streaming and YouTube thing as my other hobby that I do in the background. So I'm a bit resistant to the idea of doing that, even though I'm sure a lot of you would enjoy it. Anyway, that's all for now. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow, and if I don't see you tomorrow, then hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday. So you make a stream-only Lotro account. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. No, see, the point is I like to keep my Lotro MMO life separate from my professional work life here on YouTube. I don't like to cross the streams between work and pleasure in that respect. So, anyway, for my own privacy more than anything else, to be honest with you. So, yeah. But yeah, so I was getting an update this month that overhauls the vanilla starting zones, if you recall correctly. Well, that sounds fun then. That sounds like a good reason to hold fire on that for now. I haven't played ESO since the Morrowind expansion came out, I think. Which we did stream, actually, if I recall correctly, actually. Yeah, we did stream that. I remember I ran all the way around Vardenfell looking for landmarks. You don't want wet fart gamer 69 420 joining you on Lotro? Yeah, kind of don't. So yeah, I haven't really played ESO since the Morrowind expansion came out, so it's been a long time. And I also I streamed it a bit when it in the pre-release beta as well, when it originally came out for the first time as well. Streamed it and played quite a bit of it back then too, and I did enjoy it. I must admit, actually, ESO is not a bad MMO. Every time I've played it, I've had pretty good fun with it. I just haven't really stuck with it. Now they're going back to the old Cold Harbor start. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I remember that. I think the last time I tried it, you start off in the Adamantine Tower, and then you can choose which, like, expansion you want to do, right? But, yeah, it's interesting if they're going back to the old school Cold Harbor start. Well, anyway. Yes. You get a choice when you play Lord of the Rings Online of which sort of tutorial starter zone you want to be in. You just, on the character creation screen, literally, it gives you like you tick which box you want to actually do. So, it's nice and simple. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. In an ideal world, we'll do more of this. We'll continue with the Dwarves of the Blue Mountains, who I'm intrigued by, because I've never actually played as Ered Luin before in this mod. It's my first time as Ered Luin, and I'm curious to see where it goes. I sort of spoilery know a little bit about what can happen over here. But yeah, I'm also really dead keen on fighting Angmar and Gundabad as well. So, fingers crossed, we'll do a bit more of this. Otherwise, ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in. Let me save the game before I bloody forget. Oops. And I will join you, possibly tomorrow, hopefully Wednesday at least. Either way, toodle pip.